sometimes we don't wear what's on the inside on the outside, and we may look and present ourselves like, well, like everything's peachy, the life is perfect, there's work-life balance, I got my career figured out, I got my kids in order, I got all the extracurricular activities going up, you got that superhuman powers going, and everyone just applauding and using you as an example. But when you go deeper into the layers, there could be that rot, and we referencing rot as stress levels that potentially turn into long-term stress and turn into burnout. So now we're talking about a burnout onion and how we can be unwell on the inside, but wear a really nice exterior shell with a smile, presenting to the world that everything's well and peachy. What do you guys think about that as a burnout onion and our environment and stigma contributing to us having to show up at our best without really addressing the core issues of what's causing harm?
Well, one, I think when burnout enters your life, so you've had stress for such a long time that you may not recognize the stress as burnout, so the long-term stress. It creates a layer over that life experience that anything after that is going to be impaired by it. And generally, if you're in that layer, that stress is continuing on in each layer, so you're still getting more stress and more stress and more stress. Sometimes it's easily removed, sometimes it's long-term stress again. But you may think that your outside layer is showing nice and prim and pristine, but anybody who sees you knows that there's something going wrong if they've known you for any length of time. So what you think you're presenting is different than the burnout onion that you're showing.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen both examples. So I've seen an example of someone who would never tell you they're burned out, but when you look at them, when you talk to them, it's so evident that they are burned out and that for whatever reason they are sticking around, with those golden handcuffs. They're too close to retirement to want to start over, but you just look at them and you're like, oh my goodness, you are so burned out. But then on the other hand, you have some of the most high performing people you'll ever work with. And yet you find out, after the fact that that person was completely burned out. Like maybe they just all of a sudden they're gone. They've left your organization. Everybody's sitting there going, well, where'd they go? They were great. Everything they were working on was fine. What happened? Why did they leave? And what you often find out is that there was burnout underneath that. And they really had gotten to that point where they could no longer keep the outside of that onion looking good, and so they were out.